Why smart people stay in toxic relationships. The person who warned their friends about red flags is now ignoring their own. The person who analyzed every toxic dynamic in every movie is living inside one. And the most disturbing part? They know it. They know it and they stay. This isn't weakness. This isn't stupidity. This is something far more complex. And by the end of this video, you might recognize it in yourself. Part 1: Sunk Cost Fallacy. Imagine you're halfway through the worst movie of your life. Do you leave or do you stay because you've already paid for the ticket? Most people stay. Now, replace ticket with 2 years of your life. Replace it with emotional vulnerability, with rebuilding someone's confidence, with 3 a.m. conversations where you talk them off the edge. Suddenly leaving feels like throwing all of that away. This is the sunk cost fallacy. Economists understand it, psychologists study it, but even the smartest people live inside it without realizing it. The brain doesn't just want to win, it wants to justify what it already invested. Leaving doesn't feel like freedom, it feels like losing. And smart people hate losing more than they hate suffering. Part 2: Intermittent Reinforcement. Here's where it gets darker. Do you know why slot machines are more addictive than vending machines? Because vending machines are predictable. You put money in, you get a snack every time. Slot machines, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. The unpredictability is the addiction. Now, think about a relationship where sometimes they're warm, loving, perfect, and sometimes cold, distant, cruel. Your nervous system doesn't register this as abuse, it registers it as a puzzle to solve. Every moment of love after withdrawal hits like a dopamine flood. Neuroscientists call it intermittent reinforcement. Psychologists call it a trauma bond. The people experiencing it, they call it love. And the crueler part, the good moments feel more intense because of the bad ones. The relationship doesn't feel normal, it feels electric. That electricity, it's not passion, it's anxiety wearing a disguise. Part 3: The Identity Trap. Smart people have a particular weakness. They believe they can fix things. They fix their grades, they fix their career, they fix their own trauma through sheer willpower. So naturally, they believe they can fix a person. They don't just love their partner, they become invested in their potential. They fall in love with the version that appears at 2 a.m., the version that cried and showed something real, the version that could exist if only. And so they stay. Not because of who their partner is, but because of who they believe their partner could become. This is the identity trap. The relationship stops being about love, it becomes a project, a mission, a proof of their own capabilities. Leaving means admitting they couldn't fix it. And that threatens something deeper than heartbreak, it threatens their identity. Part 4: Emotional Addiction. When you're in this cycle long enough, your brain literally rewires. The chaos becomes baseline. Calm starts to feel suspicious, boring, wrong. Healthy love stable. Consistent love feels flat to someone addicted to emotional turbulence. This isn't metaphor. This is neuroscience. The brain adapts to the stress hormones, to the highs and lows, and then it craves them. Leaving the relationship doesn't just mean losing a person, it means going through withdrawal. Real physical withdrawal, insomnia, obsessive thoughts, grief that feels irrational. They know this person hurt them, and yet their body aches for them like a missing limb. That's not weakness, that's neurochemistry. So, why do smart people stay in toxic relationships? Not because they don't see the truth, because they've built a self concept around surviving hard things, because their brain turned pain into a reward loop, because walking away means accepting that some things and some people cannot be solved. And here's the hardest truth of all: sometimes the most intelligent thing you can do is stop being so smart about it. Stop analyzing, stop fixing, stop explaining their behavior better than they explain themselves, and just leave. Not because you gave up, but because you finally chose yourself over the project of saving someone else. If any of this felt uncomfortably familiar, that feeling is worth exploring. The next video breaks down why we choose emotionally unavailable people in the first place. That's where this pattern actually starts.